Good morning. It is the evening or the early morning of this historic storm hitting not just New York City, but many other states. So I wanted to give you guys an update because if you saw my last vlog, which was yesterday in the morning, um, it is overnight now and it is 4:30 in the morning. I've been up since about 2:30. The winds are howling outside. So, hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Lena. I just wanted to give you an update. I do live in Long Island, Suffolk County, and it has been one hell of an evening. I fell asleep about 10 o'clock last night, and then the winds, I don't really get a lot of sleep. I'm an insomniac. So being up at 2, 3 in the morning is not unusual for me, but the winds really like started to kick up here in Long Island. And so I decided to really get up and take a shower, make coffee because there are power outages hitting various places and I didn't want to get caught into that power outage situation. I am for some reason very tired, even though I only got 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I'll probably fall asleep after this video, after I upload it, just for a few hours again. But I wanted to give you guys an update. I'm going to put in some clips of what the situation is now in front of my son and I's home. So the first clip is going to be of the front yard, the front area, our front stoop, and it's pretty crazy. So, those two clips, you see that, the cars are there and it's snow. And even though the Long Island, what are the snow plowers have been coming through, it hasn't made a dent. And just so you understand, this is just not ending. This is the beginning of the heavier snow that's coming. The next clip you're going to see is going to be the perspective from the basement that I went downstairs this morning. That's the back door. And you can see the winds are blowing and how much snow we're getting just from the basement door. So I couldn't get a picture of the kitchen window that I had provided yesterday because it's completely snow covered, and that kitchen window gives me a perspective of the backyard. I'm going to wait until the daylight hits and I'm going to try to go outside or open the door. I didn't want to open the door so early in the morning. Everybody in the house is still sleeping, and when the old door opens, all the alarms goes off. So I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to give you guys an update. And the last clip you're going to see is from my bedroom window. it gives you a little bit of perspective of how much snow is on the window plus what's on the yard. So I'm hoping that in when daylight comes, I can capture more. But based on what I'm listening to, which is, the news channels, we are now getting one of the biggest bands of snow coming in right now. So by the time 7 a.m. rolls around, whatever I think I'm going to see right now, it's going to be 2 times as worse. Um, and it's a little scary because once the winds start to howl, the trees start to move, the power lines start to go down. And I know that there's, at least from what I'm understanding, 20,000 people in Long Island itself without power. And as I said yesterday, Long Island gets hit harder than NYC, which are the 5 boroughs, and so does New Jersey. And New Jersey is going through it really hard right now. So from what I'm understanding, the biggest band, and I'm looking at the news right now. That's why I'm not looking directly at the camera as I see the channel giving up updates. Um, New Jersey is getting hit, and there's a big band coming in right now between 4 and 7 to hit Long Island. So what's interesting is that 3 things. Today is my son's birthday. So 31 years ago, this time I was in labor, and he usually works on Mondays, and we had celebrated his birthday yesterday, just in case he was going to go to work. Now he works in the city, and he does it either 2 ways. He either drives in or takes the Long Island Railroad. Obviously, there is no driving. They don't want any unauthorized emergency vehicles on the road, understandably so. So that's cut off. What's more interesting is that if he said that if the Long Island Railroad was going to be working, that he would go in. The Long Island Railroad suspended services at 1 a.m. this morning. So not even can he go through to the Long Island Railroad. So he's home today. My daughter-in-law is excited. The kids are home. I'm here. We were going to celebrate. I told her, so let's cut the cake tomorrow, which is today, because this is his actual birthday. She goes, well, what if he goes into work? I'm like, okay. First of all, he's got 9 hours of shoveling out there, and that's not going to happen. And what's so funny is that, my son knows better. Okay. So, I moved him to Nassau County when he was about 10 years old. When I got married, I bought my house, and he knows how Long Island gets hit. Right. So when he decided to buy this house in Suffolk County, and I told him, I said, son, you need to get like an electric shovel, like one of those snow blowers. Did he listen? Of course not. So since he's been here, they've had 2 major storms. Now, this storm is remnants of the storm that happened in 1996. And I remember that. My son was a baby, so I remember that storm, and I was in the Bronx, and I was stressed out of my freaking brains because I had to get diapers. I had to get baby formula. I didn't have a car, and if you're in the Bronx and you're trying to get all this stuff with a baby, it's not cute. Not cute at all. So this is as historical as that storm. But since he's moved here, right? So this is the second major storm, and he has one shovel, manual, and I can't shovel. Physically, I can't. So when he's unable to shovel because he has to be at work, my daughter-in-law needs to shovel. Now, she's never been accustomed to shoveling, so she's in pain too. But my next door neighbor, and here's the trick. Listen, check it out. Here's the trick. My next door neighbor is about early 70s, and he has the snowblower, the one that I told my son to buy. And every once in a while, he will help. He won't let us use the snowblower, but he'll help when he sees us outside or sees my son or my daughter-in-law out there. He'll, pass the snowblower. So here's the thing. We got to get him, obviously, later on when this calms down to help us because there's no shoveling of the snow. Now, I'm tasked with that to knock on his door. I'm probably going to make him a nice meal because he won't accept money, which I'm grateful for. But I'm probably going to make him a meal. I'm going to knock on his door and ask for some help because there's no way my son is going to get through this by himself. And there's another neighbor across the street that has the electric blower that sometimes goes around. There's no kids shoveling. That's dead. I don't know. It's even when I was in Long Island with my son when we moved there. There's no kids out there shoveling. I don't know if that's a mind blowing thing for you, but that's BS. And if they are, I'm telling you, they're charging like $200, which I'll be more than happy to pay. But they're not even out there shoveling. Okay. Now, if I had an electric snowblower, honey, I'll be all over the place. I'll be riding that shit. No joke. So let's hope that in the morning, because it's supposed to snow until the afternoon. So people are not going to be out there shoveling until 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. if this really stays true to the storm, and that I can finagle my neighbor help with the offer of a meal. Even though he won't accept money, he's already done it before, but I'm just that way. I'm generous that way. So I'm going to try to be up as soon as dawn breaks and I can give you a better perspective of what it looks like out there. But this is not good. New Jersey Transit is down. Everybody's down. So, if you are in New York City and you are going through this with me, let me know. Even if you're not in New York City, but you're in the 12 other areas that are being affected, Boston is getting hit hard. Pennsylvania, like wherever you guys are, let me know. Drop a comment below, and tell me how it is. I mean, this is beyond what we received in January. Okay, we're talking about Central Park already has 12 inches, and it's 4 a.m. and the next band of snow is coming, and that's just Central Park. I think Long Island is going to be in competition from what I've just read. We've already got over a foot and they're estimating 18 to 20 inches. Now, one of the good things is that this is not going to be frozen like it happened in January. The temps are going to be up in the upper 30s and 40s for the rest of the week. So a lot of this can melt and it's soft snow right now. So it is manageable but not advisable because if you could, I don't know if the camera can pick up the wind, but the wind is howling. Pero howling. I'm staying quiet to see if you could hear it, but I don't think you could hear it. So, anybody out there? Wait, I'm hoping that got caught on camera. Um, Anyone out there? Stay home. Yesterday was not just my son's pre-birthday. So my son and my daughter-in-law went out Saturday morning to go to the market, right? He came home from work. They went out to the market and he told me that it was even at Saturday morning, it was 3 hours in the supermarket. Okay. Cause I was like, what market did you go to? China? Because the market is like 15 minutes away. Like, dude, you've been out of the house for like 3 hours. And he's like, Ma, it's like madness in there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. And so yesterday was meal packaging day. So something that I used to do when I was a single mom, I used to go to the butcher shop and get the package deals of the different meats to save money. And then I would prep them, season them all, put them in Ziploc bags, freeze them. So I always have something ready to make. So yesterday, that was what we were doing yesterday. And, we had all our meats out and, I'm seasoning it all and my son and my daughter-in-law are packaging them, we're freezing them. So that was fun. He hasn't done that in a while. I mean, they do it sporadically, but not to the level that we were doing it yesterday. So it's just nice to bring back full circle some of the things that I used to do when I was a single mom with my kid. And the fact that I'm still in labor 31 years later to this day is so weird to me because my son is a man, right? And I'm a mom. But it was interesting to see how, time goes on and what we do as parents and the memories that we have. And that's so important. And this is a historical, memorable storm. So I didn't want to keep this too long. Sorry, it's already long enough. Just wanted to give you guys an update. It is 4:30 in the morning. Sorry, I couldn't do full face makeup. I'm exhausted. But in a couple of hours, once the day breaks, hopefully by 7, 8 o'clock, take more clips, do another upload, do another update. Let me know where you guys are in this whole storm situation. Are you watching from another state, country, region? Are you just as fascinated as I am? Because this is like fascinating to me. And stay safe. And thank you for all of the emergency workers out there. You guys are freaking phenomenal. Okay. I cannot thank you. Between the police, the fire department, the hospital workers, every emergency person that's working right now, and everyone else. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed rest of the day. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Bye. Mwah.